Hey guys, so welcome back to yet another video. In this video, we'll be trying to solve the 442nd Leetcode problem, that is find all duplicates in an array. Okay, so given an array of integers where the element is between 1 to the size of the array inclusive, some elements appear twice and others appear once. Find all the elements that appear twice in the array. Can you do it without extra space and an of and runtime? Okay, so basically what they're saying is we need to solve this like without using a dictionary or like any of those stuff, and we have to traverse through the array just once. Now this like is the exact same problem as like the previous problem I showed on this channel, that is how to find like just one duplicate number. And for that we use Floyd's algorithm, because the array, like they said, it was immutable, but in this the array is mutable, so like we can take advantage of that. Okay, so now let's see how we can solve this. Now okay, now this is my array. Okay, now the first thing is I'll be having an answers list, okay, because I have to store the repeating elements somewhere, right, like to give it back to the system. So I have an answers list. Okay, now I'll come to the first element. Okay, wait, I'll just be noting down the indexes real quick. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, now I'll be having a for loop going through each element. Okay, so now I'll be beginning from 4. Now I'll be taking the absolute value of 4. Why is that? Because in some cases 4 can be negative as well, because we'll change it to be like that. So like I'll be explaining why. So like I'll just be like saying we'll have a, it will be equal to the absolute value of num psi. Okay, assuming the name of our array is nums. Okay, num psi. So now the first thing you have to check is if the index of nums I minus 1 is less than 0 or not. Okay, so I'll be like explaining the basic idea of this. So now since num psi is 4, okay, we'll be going to the 4 minus 1th index, so the third index. Okay, in this case we'll be going to the third index. Why is that? Like, why aren't we like going to the fourth index? Because like just take 8 for example. We can't go to the 8th index, right, because the indexes like begin from 0, and like in this case, like in the array length of 8, the indexes will stop at 7. So we'll go to 8 minus 1, that is the 7th index. Okay, so in this case we'll like go to 4 minus 1, that is the third index. And what we'll do is we'll transform this 7 to a negative 7. Okay, so now when we again come across a 4 somewhere, we'll again like go back to the 4 minus 1th index. If we know that the number is negative, we know that like we already came across 4 and we changed it, right? And like that's why it is a negative number. So we know that that is a duplicate element, and we can add that to our answers array. Okay, so now let me like just get rid of this. Okay, so okay, now we'll come across 4. I will go to the 4 minus 1th index, so the third index. I will transform 7 to minus 7. Now I'll go to 3. So I'll go to the third minus first index, that is the second index. I'll change this to a negative. Now I'll also be checking if the values are negative or not. So I'll also be checking something like if if nums of a minus 1 is less than 0. Okay, now if it is less than 0, like I already know that I came across the element, so I can add that to my answers array. So I can do answers dot append so and so. Now else we can change this to minus, so I'll do minus 1 into the element. Okay, into nums of a minus 1. All right, okay, so now I came across the second index as well. So now I'll come across 2. So I'll get the absolute value, that is that's going to be 2 in our case. I will be going to the 2 minus first index and I'll change that to negative, right? I'll be doing this step right here, because like the element at the first index is not less than 0. So I'll be making it minus 3. Now I'll come across minus 7. I'll get the absolute value, that is 7. Now I'll be going to the 7th minus first index. That is going to be the 6th index. I'll be making that negative. Okay. Now I'll be going to 8. I'll be going to the 8 minus first index. It is not less than 0, so I'll be making it negative. Now I'll be going to 2. When I go to 2, I'll be going to the 2 minus first index. That will give me the first index. And over here I see that the element is already below 0, like it already has a negative sign with it. What does that say? That says that I already came across 2 somewhere else and I made that negative, right? So this statement will execute right here. So I can append the element to my answer. So now my answer will have something like 2. Okay. Now I'll again come across 3. Now I will go to the 3rd minus first index, that is the 2nd index. I again see that it is minus, which means I came across the element 3 somewhere else. So I'll again add 3 to my answers list. Then I'll come across 1. So I'll go to the 1 minus 1th index, that is the 0th index. The element is like more than 0, so I'll make it negative. So now that's basically it. Now the repeating elements are 2 and 3, and that is your answer, right? Now let's try and code this whole solution out. All right, so you'll be having an answer list, and then you'll be having a for loop as well. For I in range length of nums, I need to get the absolute value, so it'll be the absolute value of nums I. Okay, now if nums of a minus 1 is less than 0. Okay, now if it's less than 0, I know that there is a repeating element. Answer dot append. Now what should I append? Nums a. Okay, I want to append the element. Else what can I do? I can do minus 1. Oops, I can do nums of a minus 1 into equal to negative 1. Okay, yeah, that should be it. Then I can return answer. Let's see if this works. Let's run it. Oh, it should be for I in range. Whoops. Okay, now let's see. Now I should not append nums a, right? Actually I should be appending just a, because that will be having the absolute value. Let's see again. There you go, it works. Let's submit. And there you go, that's how you solve this problem. Hopefully you guys got the idea. If you have any doubts, do leave them in the comment section down below. And that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.